Hi, welcome back to the Tarot Genie, where you receive insightful, intuitive answers from the tarot to your burning questions about business, career, creativity, entrepreneurship, personal development, spirituality, and more. Hi, I'm Laura, and happy Easter to those of you who celebrate Easter today. It's been a glorious day here in the Washington, Baltimore area. And if you celebrated Passover this weekend, I also hope that you had a wonderful Passover. Regardless of your spiritual orientation or lack thereof, it indeed spring has sprung, and we just are experiencing the rebirth and the renewal of all the beautiful flowers, trees, etc. And I thought that as such, today would be a great day to ask the tarot, how can we renew ourselves? How can we be reborn mentally, physically, and spiritually? So that will be the focus of our question today. And for a 3-card reading, the 3 cards, the first card will represent the mental aspect. The second card, physical with our bodies, what we need to do, what insights. And finally, the 3rd card will represent the spiritual realm. Before I go on to the reading, as always, I'd like to re-recommend a book, because I know I've presented this book before, but I can't recommend it enough. How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci, 7 Steps to Genius Every Day by Michael Gelb. Michael Gelb is a phenomenal writer, phenomenal speaker. He's got the greatest laugh in the world that I've ever heard. If you ever watch him on YouTube, etc., he just has an amazing, raucous type of laugh. It's just so infectious. And Michael Gelb was a student of Tony Buzan, who is the creator of mind mapping, or creator enhancer of mind mapping, who sadly this week passed away. What I especially love about this book is that we learn about Leonardo's genius and how he developed it, how he enhanced it through a variety of recommended exercises, tips, and techniques. And these all relate. You can find dozens of techniques that will help renew you, rejuvenate you mentally, physically, and spiritually. So that's why I wanted to recommend this book once again. Let's get right into the reading. And just shuffling very well, once again using the giant Rider-Waite deck, which I like to use for these videos. I don't always use it, but when possible, I like to use it so you can see the cards more easily. All right, let's see. The 3 cards representing mentally, physically, and spiritually what advice the tarot gives us. First card, mentally. The 3 of Cups reversed. Now the 3 of Cups, when you see it upright, well, 3s relate to creativity and communications often. But what we have here, the Cups cards, Cups relate to feelings and emotions. And I think what first comes to my mind when I look at this card reversed in response to the answer mentally, what do we need to do to be reborn in our business, careers, and personal lives? I feel that this is advising us to deeply within ourselves acknowledge that we need to feel life, all of life. We need to feel a sense of celebration, because we see these 3 women dancing and they just look like they're having the time of their lives. It's a harvest time. They're celebrating. I feel that the tarot is telling us today that if we want to move forward and we want to be reborn mentally, we need to turn within and acknowledge and recognize our feelings about life and actually tapping into that sense of celebration of life. This is what I feel. When the card is reversed, it can often advise us to turn within and deeply acknowledge something within ourselves. I feel that this is saying, really start thinking about how you can deeply instill that sense of celebration of life, no matter what's going on. As my spiritual coach, Carol DeRay, says, that no matter what is happening in the world and in your personal world, celebrate life. Just enjoy this moment for being alive, that's a cause for celebration. So I'd say the first piece of advice from the tarot mentally is to turn within and recognize and mentally tell yourself, there's a lot to celebrate, and I need to do this more. I need to acknowledge my life and just feel this, the joy of life, even more. Physically, what can you do to renew yourselves? Now, for me, what always comes to mind is, of course, doing yoga, jumping on the trampoline, taking daily walks with my dog. When my boyfriend and I went on a walk, kind of a walk hike today, out by a creek and a waterfall. It's about enjoying life. Let's see, and getting out into the physical world and tapping into physically how we feel. Let's see what the tarot advises here. The Queen of Pentacles. The Queen gazing at her coin or pentacle. But what pops out here is just, this is the message here, I feel, is saying, physically, you can see she's out in nature. Perhaps make sure you take time to enjoy the resplendent beauty of nature, especially now it's spring. There can be almost no better time. It's a bright illumination. And the Queen has a passion for this, as represented by her red robe. She's out in the glory of spring. There's the rabbit running by her. And it's saying, I believe, the tarot is advising you to get out in nature, enjoy life, soak in the beauty of life. Here she's looking at the coin, and I think in response to this question, it's saying, really focus into life, into the beauty and majesty of the physical world, what's there to behold. And finally, from a spiritual dimension, what can you do to renew yourself, to be reborn, so that you flow and flourish better in your business, career, and personal life? Now, spiritually, we have here the Three of Wands. Now, interesting, this reading is bookended by threes. Now, threes, as I mentioned, relate to creativity and also communication often, but especially that creative element. And what the Three of Wands here suggests, we see this individual who's atop kind of this crest, and he's looking out at the ocean, and there are three boats that are set out to sea, and then there are purple mountains in the background, the purple mountains suggesting that spiritual realm. And what I always see this as, he has put something into motion. So put your life into motion in one way or the other, and just think about kind of let go and hold on to your passion. He's holding on to the wands, and wands relate to passion and purpose. But being very clear and having that high perspective. He's on top of a cliff and he's looking out at the oceans. And basically he's releasing what he's done. Like the boats often are associated with representing putting your boats out to sea and seeing what happens. So it's saying, take the high road, the high perspective, have that faith and trust in what you've done so far, and let it go and see, have that spiritual faith in what you've done so far and what you're doing. I believe that is what the Three of Wands is suggesting. Let me see what else. I mean, for me, I just always love this illuminated card, and we have that illuminated background in both of these cards, suggesting clarity, suggesting warmth. In conclusion, I feel that today's reading is suggesting from a mental, physical, and spiritual aspect that first, we need to commit inwardly to celebrating life, to rejoicing, to basically celebrating, rejoicing, and just honoring life, adopting this as a belief system, as a philosophy. That's what I say. Inculcate the philosophy of celebrating life. Deeply own that sense of celebration of life. And then physically, get out in nature, as the Queen of Pentacles is doing, and she's really focused on the beauty. The coin here representing, to me, it's reflecting all the nature behind her. And we've got the rabbit representing fertility. It's springtime. Do whatever you can to take advantage of the life force of spring and of the material world, of nature all around you. This is a time of flourish, of when things are just flourishing so beautifully. And finally, the other three of wands, spiritually tapping into that, taking that high road, that high perspective, realizing that you have to elevate yourself to get a good vantage point on all aspects of your life, and make that your commitment. We see this person has set his ships out to sea, and at this point, all he can do is trust and have faith, and that he's got a firm grip on his passion and purpose, and that things will work out. And that's a way of renewing yourself, of rejuvenating. It's letting go of any concerns. I hope this has been helpful for you this week. And if you have not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. And also, I will put the link below. I will include the title of the book. And also, I recommend that you listen to, and I will include the link to the YouTube video, to the song Shining Star by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Now, I'm dating myself, but this is a song that I grew up with as a teenager and in college years. But it's so energizing, and it's also, I love the lyrics because it talks about recognizing your own power, your own genius, your own authenticity, and that star, your own illumination. So until next time, and also, next week we will ask the question, we will ask Tarot the question, how can you trust your instincts more? In other words, how can you develop and trust your intuition for your business and personal life? Until next time, illumine your mind, inspire your life with the tarot.